Very quick video today. Just wanted to talk a little about the winners of the awards and something on my leaderboards. So here goes. We have the awards for 2022. I listed the top three in most categories. Delial won All Rounder. I think this was well deserved, and these were a really good choice for second and third. As I mentioned, Delial was my vote, and Turds is, I think, spectacular across all rule sets as well. And Tezuka not only won TTAC, the most all-round type tournament, but won it without losing a single game, which is truly just a stunning accomplishment, beating Piggyman in the finals, Chickeny in the semifinals, reigning champion, I think reigning champion, Acela early on. Just phenomenal run from Tezuka. In Open, Akiyama won. This was also my vote here. I came second, Delial came third. I considered voting for Delial quite strongly because I believe I've never actually not voted for him in this category before. But I thought when looking at most open tournaments, Akiyama was the player I had the highest expectations for. Not the majors, though. The majors I picked Delhi, but smaller tournaments. In closed, I shockingly also voted for Delhi, but I think Turds and Addy are great picks here, and Addy ends up taking it. I think he may have won it the prior year as well. Yes, he did. We can see that here. Handmaker went to Tezuka with Piggyman second, Zoom third. All interesting, neat handmakers. One thing I'll say from private chats is Tezuka mentioned, the winner mentioned that he'd been really impressed by some hands Zoom had built. And I know Zoom really puts effort into figuring out his hands and really produces nice things. So I think this is a player who maybe gets less attention here, but really deserved this third place behind two of the great hand builders. I probably also considered voting for Acela, who I think is kind of the hand maker I want to be. Just a very, very efficient tournament hand maker. New player, Sleeping Ninja. Why is it going funny? All right, did it go funny on your end? I don't know. But anyway, new player, Sleeping Ninja. I didn't vote on this one because I hadn't seen Sleeping Ninja play, but I have been playing a bit more in the new year, and I just played a game versus Sleeping Ninja, and I won, but I thought he played really, really well. And there's a video coming out of me playing that game and my thoughts during it, but I think he did all the kind of conventional things new players don't do. He handled very, very well. All the blocking combo squares for your opponent while keeping high out-facing cards, playing cards such that the rest of your cards would have the most active play. At every point, I thought he made really good decisions, but his hand didn't line up and it ended up working out poorly. But that doesn't mean the decisions on the way are bad. I was really impressed. If I could redo it, I would now definitely be very happy to vote for him. I just wasn't familiar with his play. Sportsmanship, we have the classic Doomtrain vs. Piggyman battle that has raged forever, and Doomtrain takes it again this year. Though I should say, Piggyman is just phenomenal sport. Graphics goes to Chickeny, well deserved. He's done some really fun graphics. I've liked their additions to the site. Community contributor, Dalamar takes it. I came second. Dalamar has said two people can win so that he won't be the only winner, which is gracious of him. Obviously, Dalamar deserves it, but I'm quite pleased to get votes here. I really try to do a lot. Favorite goes to Blizzard. Props to Blizzard, very popular member, especially of Brotherhood of Seed, but clearly has friendly interactions with people out of it. Nice to see him so acclaimed for being a likable guy. Dalamar, Delial, and Seto tie for second. Most improved, we have Akiyama, which I didn't know who to vote for here because I didn't play for the last 4 months, but I didn't see huge jumps. I think Akiyama's a really interesting choice. I don't know how to frame his past performances, and I also thought he was really strong, especially in the last month or two of 2021. So I don't know where that stands, but congratulations on the award, and if he's even better than he was in 2021, that is a problem for the rest of us. Helpful, Dalamar wins it with Blizzard coming second. Dalamar wins it with more votes than anyone else got in any category. Clan of the Year goes to Brotherhood of Seed over Villains. Villains came on late, but have really tried to do a lot more clan activities than other people and have pulled in some interesting members. and I'm excited to see what they do moving forward. Also, props to Twin Moons coming third. Player of the Year, I ended up getting it, but we're going to talk about that more in a second. I think based on the majors, yeah, I'm a good pick. But if we kind of look month to month, I think we'd get a different result, and I want to focus on that. But I think I was the correct pick. I think Tezuka was the correct second place pick, and I think Akiyama and Turds also very viable choices. Because I think in the end, for something like this, majors are what matter. And Tezuka winning his first major was huge. I kind of wish there was a Hero of the Year award of like, it's not so much the player that broke through or like improved, because I don't know that Tezuka improved. He's always been an incredible player and happened to have an incredible run this year. But sort of like, I think Tezuka's TTAC run or Piggyman's TTAC run are kind of the coolest runs that happened this year. Akiyama's Triad Wars run, I think that's his third time making a Triad Wars finals in a row, and going through Seto in the semifinals was so impressive. I think it would be nice if there was maybe one. I'm not sure how to frame this, but maybe one that's like, yeah, okay, that player had the best big tournament performances of the year, but this player had the performances that really inspired us or felt, this wonderful, surprising run. And I think sometimes that will be the same player, right? But sometimes it will be a different player. And I think, for instance, maybe Player of the Year was me, but Hero of the Year, or whatever you want to call it, I think that was Tezuka or maybe Piggyman or someone else. But now I want to hop over to my leaderboard where I do monthly power rankings. And I'm highlighting the first month just because it starts in 2022, and because if I scroll over too much, it will spoil things. But I came up with a scoring system. I had a scoring system last year. You can see the big numbers over here in the Q1 and Q2 sections. And then in Q3, suddenly the numbers are much smaller because I changed scoring systems. But here's the scoring system I did. I applied it to each month of 2022, and I came out with a player who overall, on my power rankings, scored the best in 2022. So each month, 10 players make my power rankings. And here was my scoring system. If you come 10th, you get 1 point. If you come 9th, you get 2 points. 8th gets 3, 7th gets 4, 6th gets 5, and 5th gets 6th. If you make it to the top 4, I gave you 8 points for 4th, 10 points for 3rd, 12 points for 2nd, and a jump to 15 points for 1st. I really wanted to give people extra credit for those top 4 spots. So like, if someone came 2nd and 9th, and someone came 3rd and 8th, I wanted the person who came 2nd and 9th to finish higher. So I gave more points for finishing in especially those top 4 spots, and the gaps between them are a little larger. So for each month, we have the scores, and I added them up, and you can see for quarter 3, Delhi narrowly leads Turds 33 to 32. That's down here. With will it highlight? There you go. With Piggyman coming 3rd with 27, Yevon 19, Smokes 14, etc. And I added up all the months, and we're going to scroll over to the 2022 overall, and it is here. So Chickney and Vialva tied for 10th with 22. Massive props to Chickney, who did it while not playing much, and Vialva, who did it very much going in and out. He'd, 1 month he'd say, oh, I wish I'd made the list. Okay, I'll get it next month. And then next month he would not only make the list, but finish fairly high on it. And so he ended up earning a whole bunch of points going on and off the list, but on when he was competing to try to. Seto also didn't play much. I played a bit more, and we come 8th and 9th. Smokes comes 7th at 47 points. There's a kind of close crowd you'll see between 4th and 7th, where Tezuka 54, Piggyman 53. Really fun to see them neck and neck, given that they were the finals of TTAC. Yevon 49, Sir Smokes 47. And then our top 3 are all over double 4th place. I think if you look month to month, just who's competing in, month in, month out, in the GBs, in the weekly opens, and not just competing, but consistently putting up top tier results, there's a big 3. There's just a very obvious big 3. Turds, Delial, and Akiyama. And it would have been, I think, really cool, though I like the results of the awards a lot, if each of them had managed to take home an award this year, because I think in general, you say, random tournament in a random month, who do you think finished top 3, or who do you think won it? your pick should be Turds, Delial, or Akiyama. It's one of those three. Not that other people didn't win tournaments, but picking between those three will give you much better odds of having guessed a high place in some random tournament than picking anyone else. So much ahead. Look, they're double the competition here. Delial ends up winning Best All-Rounder. I think that's a great award for Delial, who has always been an unbelievable open beast. But keeping records enclosed as we're doing now, seeing the GB results, seeing the phenomenal scores he puts up there too, Delial for Best All-Rounder seems to me just a correct, clear pick. Akiyama, Best Open. Not that Akiyama's not great at closed too, but a wonderful pick. I kind of wish Turds had won Best Closed, or split the award with Addy. I think that would have been really nice. Or found some other place to win an award. He finished quite high, second, third, and multiple awards. Didn't end up winning one, but by this scoring system, overall for the year of 2022, huge shout out to Turds, who was the most consistently effective winning month-to-month performer. Not by a lot. Delial and Akiyama, very close. The gap between those three is much smaller than the gap between third and fourth. But there were three really special players this year that maintained activity and results, which I think is difficult, right? I need to take breaks. I take breaks. I keep myself paced. I try to use that to keep myself enthused. I think it's hard to do what they did. I think it's really hard. I think all three deserve tremendous kudos in, a slightly different version of the awards. I think this is your big three. And by this count, Turds was first of them. And so I really wanted to just say, Turds had an amazing year. Congratulations to Turds. We had a really good awards, but sadly, we didn't quite find a place for arguably the best player of the year. Though Delial and Akiyama, incredibly close. Also, their race, for a while I thought they might be racing for first, but Turds kept putting up high results and, winning or coming top three in Player of the Month. So we can actually scroll through the months so you can see that if it will let me move. We start in January on the left. I had a good January. That's when I clinched Nephilim. So we have Was Up, Delial, Seto. You can see Deli second, Turd seventh, Akiyama not on the list that month. But in February, Deli wins and Akiyama jumps to second, Turd's fourth. Then Deli wins again, a second consecutive month. Turd second, Akiyama third. Our first month where this big three is the big three. But that was just repeated immediately the next month, this time with Akiyama first and Delial third, Turds maintaining second. Then Akiyama wins it a second month in a row, Turds comes second, and Delial drops to fourth, but obviously this is an incredibly powerful top four. I come back, but Akiyama Turd second, third, Delial sixth. At this point in time, this was like the first time Delial had ever not finished top four, and he comes back with a great July, finishing first. Incidentally, Vialva second this month was the month after he had said, I'll make it next month, and he immediately follows up with second place. Turds third, Akiyama this time drops to sixth. Then in August, we get Delial first, Turd second, and Akiyama falls off the list. Akiyama had a little less consistent activity than the other two. In September, Turds comes third, Akiyama fourth, and Deli drops to eighth. In October, Deli... Alright, it's not going weird on your screen. Okay, Deli fifth, Akiyama fourth, Turds sixth. They all come right together again. In November, Turds comes first, Akiyama second, Deli seventh. So, interestingly, Deli may win the most players of the month of them, or is at least, I think he does, because he wins two in a row twice, but it moves around a little more. Turds really consistently in a high spot, and sometimes winning, as we see in November, and Akiyama either quite high on the list, meaning kind of top four, or sometimes falling off it entirely. November, we have Turds winning, Akiyama second, Deli seventh, and in December, Deli was less active the last 3 months of the year. We have Akiyama first, Turds third, and Deli sixth, but that isn't quite enough for Akiyama to pass Deli, and Turds coast to first place. So I'm going to keep this same system for next year. I think it's just an easy system for me to calculate. It means I got to be pretty careful doing my monthly rankings because I don't want to get something too wrong and screw someone over. But huge congrats to these, I was going to say 10, but actually 11 players who I think were the standouts. A number of other players scored points. You can see as I scrolled through, there are a bunch of names. Dalamar, Zoom, Selder. Addy, who all scored quite a fair number of points, but didn't quite make this list. Nemesis Divina. But I think these were the 10 of the year, and there's a big top three, and yeah, congratulations to Turds for winning my YouTube channel's Player of the Year 2022.